out in Australia. I have twin grandsons. I have a granddaughter and twin grandsons out in Australia. And I was over there in Christmas, and when they asked for a photograph, I thought, I'm going to put that in there. It was my daughter, his mother, that got me into doTERRA in the first place. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here now. But even without that, I wouldn't have anywhere near as much reason to enjoy life without having beautiful grandchildren to do it with. Now, doTERRA asked me to put a little phrase about myself under my name here. I think you were thinking about Ruth Dempsey, Scientific Medical Education Council founder, all the rest of it. But I like being a bit provocative, so I thought I'd just put this up. Because it's true. I am not an essential oil specialist. You have probably many people in this audience here who know more and have more experience in using essential oils than I do. So why am I standing here talking to you about essential oils? Well, I am a scientist. I'm a PhD scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a PhD doctor. And I went to university to study life sciences 44 years ago. And I have dedicated my life to the science of lifestyle. And I understand how things impact our lifestyle, what we can do to make it better, and how things can make it worse. And when essential oils started to become a really significant part of lifestyle changes and of health and wellness changes, I think probably really the last decade or so they've really become more popular. I, of course, took more and more of an interest. I'd come across them beforehand, but it started to come up more frequently. So what I'm an expert in is the science around essential oils in terms of lifestyle. My bread and butter is PubMed. You know, I spend my life reading articles that you would probably all find really tedious. A word of warning about PubMed is brilliant. There are lots of ways you can get scientific articles. Even peer-reviewed scientific articles these days are not what they used to be. You can't necessarily rely on, please don't rely on a single article if it's just saying what you want to hear. What you can rely on in me is that I have looked at the science, I understand when a good study is a good study and when a bad study is a bad study, and I can separate those out. I can look at the overall weight of evidence, and therefore the things that I'm talking to you about are not just based on individual references, they're based on a body of science that gives me the confidence that these oils really have something. And if they don't, I will tell you. I will tell you that. So that's why I'm here. I'm not an expert in essential oils, but I am an expert in the science, and I hope that I can portray that to you in a nice, simple way that helps you to pass the message on, both for yourselves and for your teams. So, they'd asked me to talk to you this morning about the Home Essentials Kit. Well, we discussed what we could talk about, and I said, I think it would be a good idea to talk about the Home Essentials Kit. And the reason I want to talk about the Home Essential Kit is because it's fabulous. I mean, this is a real powerhouse of things when you want to get started, but it's also a really good powerhouse when you want to continue, because you can do pretty much everything with this kit. And I want to show you a little bit about the science behind it and how that works. Now, what I find with this kit, when people first come, the feedback that I get about this kit is there's several different types of people who first get the kit, the Family Essentials or the Home Essentials kit. There are those who open every bottle, smell them all, try everything, read everything that they can about it, and use them on a daily basis, and they usually are embraced by the oil straight away. If that was you, or if that's one of your team, you can go back to sleep now. I'm not talking to you. I think the majority of people, or an awful lot of people, open them all, smell them all, probably use the one or two oils that they originally got it for, because that's what they got it for, and they might look at the other ones every now and again, and they might not look at the other ones every now and again. I think there's also a group of people who get them, look at them and think, why did I get these? And must get in touch with that person who's recommended them and find out what it is, and they never open the box again. And that is quite a shame. And I think we can all do something better to make sure people actually use these and get the benefits from them. And so what I want to do is to talk to you about the multiple different uses And while people don't necessarily need to look up every single use, they can just try them and see if they work for anything. And I'm going to do this by going through doterra's wellness chart. We all know the wellness chart, or most of us know what the wellness chart is. And this is doterra's wellness chart. I don't want to accuse them of stealing, but you'll find exactly the same chart in all lifestyle medicines and everything. It's a commonly known thing that these are the foundations of a good lifestyle. So nutrition and digestion, we all know we need to eat well, we all know we need to exercise, we need to look after our metabolism, we need to reduce our stress, get good sleep, we've heard a lot about reducing the exposure we have to synthetic compounds or compounds that may be toxic to our body as much as possible. I'm not going to go into the proactive medical care or the medical side of things. As I said, I am not a medical doctor. But if you do the first four well and efficiently, you probably won't need to go into that upper level that much either, anyway. Now, I think when most people first look at the problem, we think about these. We think about, for the detoxification area, we're looking at things like frankincense and on guard, and tea tree and lemon. These are all good cleansing oils. Frankincense is great for the skin, so it can help to avoid all the chemicals that you have in skincare products, etc. So you can reduce your toxic load with that. I think that's relatively well understood or known. I think people think for sleep, they would think lavender, air to help you breathe when you're sleeping. Perhaps frankincense, also a very calming oil. So for sleep and stress and de-stressing, that would be good. I mean, who doesn't automatically think of deep blue when you think about your exercise and the levels for exercise? And of course, for nutrition and digestion, we have the peppermint and the zengest for your digestion, and lemon and oregano, of course, are food flavorings. I mean, that's what they're principally used for in most industries. So this, I think, is what people mostly think about when they think about the Home Essentials kit. But this is what it really looks like. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, I have cheated a little bit here, I have to say. There is one here. I'm hoping someone will help me to fit it in. I worked hard to fit them all in. I can't actually work out how air fits in with digestion and nutrition. So I probably shouldn't have that one up there because you can't take it internally. I don't think it's going to help you to ease your digestion or anything, but forgive me for the license because I know somebody in here will tell me something that air can do to help you with nutrition and digestion. So I'm leaving it up there, but that's not for internal use. Now, I don't have time to go through the justification for the placement of every single one of those. But what I wanted to do was to illustrate this by talking through perhaps some of the more difficult ones that people have to understand, and talk about it from the perspective of the scientific research there is relating to that. And then through that, I think I will hopefully portray to you just how versatile these oils are and just why it's worthwhile doing. So I'm going to start with oregano. How many people here found that oregano was the one that sat for the longest in there? It's scary stuff, isn't it? It's like, it's hot. It's really hot. You know, so if you accidentally put too much of it in your bolognese, yeah, that's not nice. And if you put it on your skin, it burns. I mean, it really burns. So that makes us automatically scared of it. Also, it's not something that you think of for everyday use. We may even have been told that it can be good as an antimicrobial, but we don't necessarily need that on an everyday basis. Well, maybe we do. If you look at the scientific research on this, the biggest component of oregano is a substance called carbohydrate, about 70% in the oil as well. It also has some other elements. It has thymol, it has a little light, actually a calming element in there as well. But the biggest one is carbohydrate. And if you look at the scientific publications on oregano or on carbohydrate, what you come across is by far and away the most common ones come from the catering industry, the agricultural industry, investigations into alternatives to antibacterial compounds and to antimicrobial compounds for cleaning your fruit and your vegetables, for keeping them mold-free in long-term storage. And because this carbachol is a phenomenally good antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal agent. And so one of the things that you may not have thought about is using it for cleaning your surfaces. There's some really good research that shows how it can break up the bacterial microfilm that you get on surfaces that we obviously can't see. Even when you clean it, sometimes that's really, the integrity of that microfilm is very difficult to disrupt, and carbachol does it. It breaks up the cells and it disrupts it. So one of the things, does anybody here do that when you get your vegetables? Wash it in water with a couple of drops of lemon or on guard in there. Try adding a bit of oregano. Now, the oregano will keep it mold-free for a lot longer. Be careful not to add too much. I tried, when I first tried this, with all the fruits and vegetables that have got skins on it, it's not a problem. If you wash your strawberries, your raspberries, and your myrtles in there, then you might start having a slight oregano strawberry taste, which is very nice, but it's probably not what you're looking for. What I tend to do now is literally just put, you've heard about the toothpick, and you sort of put the toothpick in for flavouring. One of the things that I like to do is I literally just put a jot on my finger. Your skin is pretty thick on this side of your hand, so it won't burn, and rub it around the side of the sink before I put the water in. And I find that is enough. Not to flavour it at all, but just to avoid to keep it mold-free for that little bit longer. So that's one of the things that you can do with it. It's also phenomenally good at supporting your immune response and for respiratory health. And moving up to the exercise element, what many of us don't realise is that breathing, being able to breathe properly, is vital to exercise, because you need to get more oxygen to your muscles to support you during exercise. So anything that you can do to help to open up your airways, then helps do it. That's why inhaling peppermint or the citrus fruits, air, and oregano can be very good before exercise to help to open up those airways. And there's studies that actually show that you have better exercise performance if you open up the airways before you actually exercise. So that moves us up into the exercise area. As far as the stress and relief is concerned, again, it supports your immune response. And actually, because it helps with the breathing, it's a very good thing to use at night time. One of your alternatives for night time, the diffusing in the air, because for many people, the reduction in sleep that you have comes because of respiratory issues, because you slow your breathing down so much that your body keeps waking you up because you haven't got enough oxygen. So diffusing things like air and the oregano, Zengest also does this, can really help in the sleeping outcomes. And of course, for the detoxing, it's great for the cleaning area. One other thing that I wanted to say about this, which is phenomenal for me about all of the oils, is we talked a little bit about, we all started hearing more and more about the microbiome. Now, microbiome are bacteria, basically, and fungi and microbes that grow inside your gut, on your skin, in your mouth, virtually everywhere within the body itself. And people have often said to me, if essential oils are such powerful antibiotics, antibacterial, wouldn't taking those destroy your microbiome? The answer is no. The answer is no, for a very clever reason. And I'm blown away by this whenever I look at the studies. There are numerous studies, and I came across it again when I was looking at oregano for this presentation, which demonstrate that oregano is very effective at destroying the Escherichia coli, Helicobacter, Clostridium, the nasty pathogens that you have within your gut are destroyed by it. But the commensals, which are the good bacteria, are not destroyed by essential oils. They survive. So actually, things like oregano are very good at bringing balance back to your microbiome. It helps to get it back to a normal way. There's some studies that show the combination, a synergistic combination between peppermint and oregano taken internally, and you can take it internally, and we put it in a capsule. I'm not sure how it would feel in the throat if you put it in your mouth. But you can take it internally, and there's the data there that suggests it will actually help to rebalance your microbiome. What I like to do with this is I do a lot of my own mouthwashes, often with On Guard and myrrh or a few other things in there. A tiny drop of oregano in the mouthwash, because that helps. You know, the alcoholic mouthwashes will destroy your microbiome. If you use the doterra mouthwash and you make your own essential oils, it will help to preserve, I believe it will help to preserve your microbiome. So, an interesting fact about the essential oils. How are we doing on time? I'm going to romp through the next three, because I'm not going to go through every one as it is, but just because Deep Blue, I think, very often gets parked because it's just for exercise, and let's face it, not all of us exercise that much, so that's another reason why it might get left in the box. But I just wanted to say a number of things about Deep Blue in the various different areas. First of all, it's actually also really good for digestion. So if you have, this is not for internal use, you can't take Deep Blue internally, but you can use it to rub on your stomach if you have indigestion or problems with digestion, and it helps to calm it down. It is great for relieving stress in muscles. That's what we use it for with health and with exercise. But of course, when you think about it, a lot of the stress that we have comes from sitting on a screen all day, and we have that hunched over feeling. And just diluting it and rubbing a bit across the back of the shoulders can really help to reduce stress. It can help at night time for the same reasons, to help muscular relaxation when you're sleeping at night time as well. And it's a bit of a stretch, but I'm going to say it helps with your low tox load, because if you're using this instead of other things in those areas, you are of course reducing your exposure to toxicity. So that's how I fit that one into all of the various different areas. Zengest, combination of peppermint and ginger and caraway and cardamom and all the things that we know are helpful to the digestion. The linalool is one of the most common constituents that you're going to get. It's known in lavender, of course, and that's the common thing that you get, the highest levels in lavender. A real calmant, and it helps internally for digestion. It also, because it's there, will help with sleep. So actually, this is another alternative that you can use diffused at night time to help with sleep. From a scientific perspective, it will help with calming and with opening up the airways and help you in that way. All things digestive related goes without saying. What have I missed for the Zengest? Also because it does help with respiration, it can be a good one for the exercise. It basically can fit into everything for the same basic reasons. Finally, I'm going to talk about air. As I said, I can't think of a reason why you'd use it in that to support your nutrition and digestion area. It clearly helps with exercise because air is one of the best ones for opening up those airways. So, you know, if that's the one that you want to use with that, inhaling that before you go and do some exercise will help to get more oxygen to the muscles, etc. At night time, we all know that it's one of the most commonly ones used in diffusing at night time to help one breathe, and it's got a calming influence at night time. But I also wanted to talk about diffusing it during the day, because there's some really interesting studies that look at how diffusing air can actually reduce the bacterial load in the atmosphere, in the air in your home. And that's one source of toxins and bodily attacks that you have that you can deal with the air. So, how are we doing on time? What I really wanted, the message I really wanted to get across here is, I admit some of these are a bit of a stretch, but all of these can be used for pretty much anything you want. And why would you want to use it in any different way? Well, because I love what Becca said this morning. You need to change things up. Sometimes your body likes to have something different. So you may have been using lavender to sleep forever, and you sort of, it's not working as well for you. Well, try air, or try Zengest, or try something else in the diffuser which might help with it. Cleaning is always nice to vary up different things that you're using for the cleaning, just to have different smells around about the home. So use the different things for it in different ways. And also everyone's different. Everybody might react differently to different things. One of my favorites oils is lavender. And I fell in love with lavender because that's what made me fall in love with doterra, But lavender doesn't work for me for sleep. Every time I use lavender in the bedroom at night time, I'm awake all night. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. There's about 20% of the population for which their threshold for linalool is very, very, very low. So if you have it over that threshold, it's more of a stimulant than it is as a calmant. But most people, it will calm them down at night time. So for me, it's much more interesting to try all the other things. So my encouragement to you is, when you pass over the kit, when people sign up to it, by all means, there's usually a reason. Point out the ones that there's a reason for, but encourage them, reassure them that every single one of these oils can be used for every single thing that they want to do with it. Open the bottle, smell it, try it, put it on your skin, inhale it, even take it in capsules, and with the exception of deep blue and air, which shouldn't be taken internally, you can find ways that they work for you just by trying. And I hope that message will help people to use all of the oils in different ways. Now, before I go, I have one more thing that I want to share. I think most of my slides work on fine, so I don't have any problem with you. I don't think there's any problem with taking them. The last one, definitely you can take a photo of. Usually when I give these presentations, people come to me afterwards and ask for the papers. Now, my database has, I looked this morning, 2,300 papers in it, ish. I'm not going to share 2,300 papers with you, and some of them are crap. So what I did was pick a fairly random sample of the studies, tried to keep them mostly recent, though some of them go a bit far back. Hopefully, it's here. So please feel free to take a photo. These are all peer-reviewed papers that can be found in PubMed, which tell you some of the things that I talked about this morning. They're not the only ones that tell you that, there are other ones, but you can hopefully find these relatively accessible and useful if you're interested in actually following up on the scientific side. And with that, thank you very much indeed. For most of the rest of the day, and I'm always happy to try and answer questions, but I just wanted to say while I'm up here, I am not a medical doctor, I will not answer any questions about medical problems or medical issues, but if you are interested in the science, then please, by all means, come up. I'm always happy to talk about the science.